What is up? What is up? We are back, Black. Man, what is going on? So much shit to talk about, but god damn. All you clown ass motherfuckers, shout out to all y'all heading to the polls, and shout out to all them dumbass niggas out there in Philly buck dancing and cooning, getting ready to go vote. Then a nigga get smoked. Now y'all want to trip. That's why you gotta be on code the whole motherfucking time. They waiting for y'all niggas to slip up. That's why they want niggas to do sucker shit and go vote. And motherfuckers don't understand the concept of voting. Nigga, you gotta get that powernomics to know what it is. So shout out to everybody that's out there that's handling business at the Court Plantation as we speak, doing what they need to do. That shit is not fun. It's not easy. It's cold. It's starting to get cold as the motherfucker out here in Vegas, man. There's a lot of shit to discuss. Lots. But I can tell you this. You know, if you ain't handling business, then you ain't handling shit at all. So shout out to the motherfuckers that's really handling business, not sitting around and thinking that they gonna get a nigga out a couple of dollars and finessing and ride hopping. Maybe get it right up the street. And then up the street is 10 miles away from the location. It's like, god damn, nigga. So shout out to all you motherfuckers that's handling business. Shout out to motherfuckers still chasing hoes. Hey, shout out to y'all. Shout out to the niggas at the strip club. If the strip club's still open. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to motherfuckers that's still fighting this COVID and whatever the fuck you got going on. You better get you some sea moss in your life and some turmeric and some real shit. So shout out to y'all. And shout out to motherfuckers that already know what it is and know that voting right now is basically some sucker shit. If you go ahead and do it, I'm gonna keep talking that shit all day long, all day strong. But if that's what you want to do, go do it. And I just want anybody to tell me right now, since this lynching, yet again, another nigga got killed by law enforcement, let me see what your vote gonna get you. Since you want to tell everybody to go do some sucker shit and go vote, clown. So shout out to everybody that's out there doing what it do, staying safe, staying out of harm's way. Shout out to all my black brothers and sisters, melanated and highly favored, that know when they leave the house you are in imminent danger. You are in danger every time you leave your motherfucking house. So cross your T's and dot your I's, and cross your I's and dot your T's. Looking at us for real, cause this shit ain't no joke out here, boy. And look, it's gonna still be some shout out to all you sucker coon Sambo, tell them about the gun line, Hayward Shepherd ass Steven from Django motherfuckers that'll get up and tell a nigga to go vote, knowing that march and whine and repeat. If that don't change shit, then what the fuck you think a vote gonna do? This shit is happening nationwide. But if that's what y'all niggas want to do, go ahead and do that, man. That's on y'all. I can't stop what y'all do. But don't be looking at me and trying to judge a nigga like me, because I ain't trying to vote. Vote for what, motherfucker? Man, we gonna get into a lot of shit to discuss. We'll talk about our architect behind the Raiders Stadium, Sheldon Adelson. We gonna discuss him too. Within this, I'm gonna tie it all in together. Why motherfuckers is deaf, dumb, and blind, we gonna get into that shit. So shout out to all you, and shout out to all you finessing ass motherfuckers too, that have some type of sob story. Then when you call a nigga out, they play the victim. They go into victim mode right away. Only victims are the people that's getting up and dealing with racism, white supremacy every day, and don't got no help because it's an institution and we gotta rely on each other. We can't rely on each other because y'all niggas too busy buck dancing and sambo and cooning and running game on your own people. And shout out to motherfuckers that's really, I would say, being a mentor and a guide to anyone who's up under them, whether that's your kids, your nephews, nieces, whatever. Just try to do what you can do to show them there's always a different way and not the same way, because we have generational trauma from the effects of slavery the last 450 years. And it's still some black folk that think, well, white people just help us. Nigga, white people ain't gonna help you. They're not gonna give you the power that they took 450 years ago so you can become equal to them. No. So stop it. So anybody that believes that shit, you a lame motherfucker. I can tell you that right now. And shout out to everybody that understand what racism, white supremacy is, and know you need to be focused on trying to replace that system with justice every day, whether it's at your job, you know, each one teaching 21, outside the job, with family members, whatever you can do. Make those conversations productive and make them worth having. Stop sitting around and having conversations that are not productive, unless they're productive. If you need to have a productive conversation about finessing, then break down the finessing, how it works from start to finish. And you educate the people around you so they're not walking around here with X marks the spot as a motherfucking mark. So these are conversations that need to be had, because either you the prey or you the predator in this world of the United States of America Incorporated. So you need to understand that. And when you walk out the house as a melanated brother or sister, you are the prey. You're not the predator, because this isn't your system. So you need to understand that at all costs, at every point. That's what's going on. Hey. Cut this shit down. Man. I mean, how many times we gotta talk about this shit, man? I didn't really want to talk about it, but I had to talk about it because I saw it all on Twitter, and I just was like, let me talk about it, because I'm gonna use this to prove my point. Oh, so go vote, clown. So take your bitch ass out there, go vote. Go vote. I don't see them killing no Koreans and no Chinamen. I don't see them killing no white people. But they sure get a kick out of killing niggas every chance they get. But then they flip it and they tell you, go vote. As if that vote is going to change the circumstances of law enforcement having the authority to kill black folks with impunity, and nothing happens to them, because all they gotta say is they in fear for their life. It don't matter if you have a weapon or not. They gonna kill you anyway. So it doesn't matter. So while y'all sitting out there marching up, tear the motherfucker up. And I'm gonna tell you this. All they gonna do is they gonna have riders insurance. They gonna fire their all insurance. They gonna claim it on their fucking, they gonna play their deductible, claim that shit, rebuild their shit, go on TV, cry and play victim, because the majority of those business owners in Philly are probably Arabs. And if they are black businesses, I doubt it if they get destroyed. But I can tell you right now, they're not gonna change how law enforcement conducts themselves when it comes to black folk. Nigga, the Jewish community, the Orthodox Jewish community was just burning fucking masks and rioting out there in New York. And they ain't do shit to them. Ain't now one of them white Jewish people got killed. So I don't understand why, and motherfucker, man, it's a class thing. Yeah, you're right. It is a class thing. Let me tell you what the class thing is. Bill Cosby, a billionaire, but you're not Caucasian, and Harvey Weinstein, a billionaire. Let me tell you what the difference is. One's a nigger and one isn't. And that's why the nigger is in jail for he said, she said, and Harvey Weinstein is out because he's white. And they got him on video, audio recorded with him straight full court pressing some pussy. Ain't nobody say shit about that. But niggas will keep propping up Bill Cosby every chance they get and shoving it in your face, and R. Kelly. And they use the ugly KRS-One King Cooper looking bitch to do it. And then when I saw her, I said, oh, well, no wonder she did this shit. Look at how the way this bitch look. It's just like at the corporate plantation too. You see these god awful looking motherfuckers, just sloppy and just don't even, you can tell, but they'll promote them because they, you know why? Because they're not oppositional and they're not confident. And the only confidence that they have is that corporate plantation that they work at. I'm talking about for dominant white society motherfuckers. That's a fact. And if you're not using that privilege to help aid foundational black Americans at that job, then you're a part of the system of anti-black racism and racism white supremacy. And you're not trying to replace it with a system of justice. And you get the fuck out of my face with the bullshit. So when they killed and assassinated Walter Wallace Jr., another melanated brother, that should let you know all you need to know. And they're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep doing it. You're going to keep seeing and hearing the coons. Now I want to see what Charles Barkley and now Charles Barkley, you got all that energy for JaVale McGee and motherfucking Dwight Howard. Why don't you take that same energy and direct it towards the racism, white supremacy, and the dominant white society? But just like them, just like us, they are locked and loaded and attached to European financing. They just like us. That's why you shouldn't expect them to say anything. You should expect them to go at black folk all day long, but never say anything about the dominant white society in its entirety. And they never will. Anybody on TV, stop expecting them to speak up because they're not going to speak up. Stop expecting rappers and actors. And I told y'all want rich black folk to be activists. And then y'all want poor people to be, and then y'all want the poor activists to be black and rich. No, that's not how it works. If that system was designed that way, then wow, things would be totally different. Once Muhammad Ali started talking about anti-black racism and racist and white supremacy and calling the white folk to the floor, they tried to strip him of everything. And they didn't like that. They didn't like Muhammad Ali until he was old and docile and couldn't talk, couldn't say nothing. You know, and that, man, then they had Billy Crystal do his fucking eulogy. Now, what the fuck do Billy Crystal and Muhammad Ali got in common? When the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, along with the Nation of Islam, along with Malcolm X, along with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, they the ones who made Muhammad Ali. They taught him. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught him, not Billy Crystal. But you gonna have Billy Crystal do your funeral? I didn't like that shit either. And then I just be looking at things and I'm like, they only like you when you're docile, old, and not a threat. Then they gonna coalesce around you and, you know, yeah, Muhammad Ali, yeah, the greatest. If Muhammad Ali was fuck you honkies, you crack-ass motherfuckers, and y'all doing my people out of line, they wouldn't even talk about it when he died. They'd act like shit didn't even exist. Period. But motherfuckers want to sit up here and talking about, well, I don't see color. And cape for the goddamn law enforcement. Man, look, that's on y'all. Y'all want to cape for them? Go ahead and keep caping for them. And they going to keep doing the same fucking thing that they always been doing to niggas. Killing them. So while y'all motherfuckers thinking that shit gonna change, y'all niggas is on y'all own. Ain't shit gonna change, and I don't care what nobody say. And you're like, why is shit ain't gonna change? Because y'all niggas think voting is the key. Anybody that tell any other black person, you know, voting is the key, those are people that are misinformed and they're in the matrix and they believe in this system that has been rigged to aid, abet, and help dominant white society people. It ain't meant for you. Go learn the law, go learn the law. Clown, I think you should. But I also tell you this, within learning the law, don't get cocky and arrogant and think that somehow you're absolved of being a victim of this shit and being, I would say, public enemy number one in this system. You always be. That shit will never change. I don't care what you say. You can act like it's gonna change. You can be like, oh man, you know, it'll get better once we get Trump out of there. Go ahead. I guarantee you the lynching still goes on even if Trump doesn't win. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris ain't gonna say a motherfucking thing about no niggas. But y'all niggas keep telling other niggas go do the sucker shit and go vote. That's why I was on Instagram and I was like, yeah, go vote, clown. And breaking it down. Vote. Ooh. Let's see. When has voting got us anything in the last 100 years? Let's just talk about J. Edgar Hoover. That was the director of the FBI for 40 of those motherfucking last 100. And all he did was write documents that said he wanted to seek and destroy the next black messiah, COINTELPRO, the counterintelligence program that was designed for black folk. But you want to tell me that voting will get us something different when he was recording audio and doctoring up audio of Martin Luther King and sending it to his wife to split them up and threatening them, if you take this Pulitzer Prize or whatever that fucking award is, we're going to out you and put the... Then you try to get in between the Nation of Islam and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X, and you did your job. Because Malcolm was, I would say, a little emotional, so he wanted to go at his teacher, and they couldn't wait to do that. And then in the end, Brother Malcolm, he wanted to get back in the nation, because you know what? There's no place like home. And you never go against your people, because you'll never see a white Jewish person ever go against the white Jewish community, period. They'll never do that for nobody. That's why I tweeted when Chelsea Handler was trying to tell 50 Cent, oh, I need to remind him and all this other stuff. First of all, 50 Cent is a comedian. That's comical to him. He don't give a fuck. He's just doing that shit to keep himself relevant. 2, Chelsea Handler. I hate to say this, but you were pregnant by a black man. You lived in a black man's house. But for some sort of reason, your white Jewish father took you away from that black man's house with his family that took you in and accepted you and made you get an abortion, and you never returned back to that black man if you really loved him. And after that, you married a white Jewish man and then became a comedian. And nobody didn't really know until probably a couple of years ago, or when you started dating 50 Cent, that you were even into black men. And then you did the documentary where you kind of straddled the fence on anti-black racism and white supremacy. And then you photo-opt getting pregnant by that black man. But if you really love black culture, you love that black man who you were pregnant by and your dad made you get an abortion, and that love was still near and dear to your heart, when you made it, you getting rid of that motherfucker, or You're going and you're getting that black family. And you're secretly sending them money and you're following where they are. And you're trying to make up and repay for what you did, but you didn't because you didn't give a fuck. And that's what normal Caucasians do. They'll fuck with a nigga for a little while and then their parents will come get them and say, that was just the phase. We don't fucking date niggers and that bullshit. And then they move you away and then all of a sudden you act like you didn't even deal with no niggas at all. And niggas got to stop acting like these things don't happen. This shit happens all the fucking time. That's why slave masters would have mulatto children. And then in the book, Slavery by Another Name, when the slave master would die, he would have mulatto children and he'd have his slaves. Even if he didn't have mulatto children, the slave master will often leave his property to the slaves because he felt bad at the end. At the end, he knew what he did was wicked. And guess what other white folk would do being on code? They would say, no, we're deeming him insane and you niggers ain't getting the fucking property because we just came up with a loophole that said we're deeming him insane because ain't no white man gonna leave his property to a nigga. So you ain't getting shit. So the fuck out of here. Go read the book, Slavery by Another Name. That's exactly what they would do. And they would straight gank and take and debo black folks' property that was left to them, that they earned from being in bondage for 50, 60, 70, 80 years. And then once a slave master would die, he felt bad. A lot of times he would leave it to black folk and they would be like, well, fuck that. Y'all niggas ain't getting it. So don't fucking tell me no shit about motherfucking, I don't see color and all this bullshit. Y'all motherfuckers is full of shit. And motherfuckers want to, and what tripped me out about it is motherfuckers always want to make an excuse. Always is an excuse. That's why I'm interested to see, okay, what the fuck is people going to say about this? Because it's all over the news. It's everywhere. You can't run from this shit. And I'm going to play it. I'm going to see what the fuck is going on. Because it better not be no motherfucking commercial. Because this is a commercial. But we going to see. I'm going to see what they saying. If the news, if not, I'm going to look it up somewhere else. All right, here, hold on. Let's see. Now we're going to see what they talking about. Let's see.
In Philadelphia, video shows officers telling the 27-year-old African-American man to drop a knife before repeatedly opening fire. CNN's Alexander Field joins us now with the breaking details, and there were protests over.
You know, they let everybody know he had a knife. Well, Laquan McDonald had a knife too. Y'all fucking assassinated him too. Y'all lynched him too. And then y'all boy, Rahm Emanuel, Obama's boy, Rahm Emanuel, told them to hold the camera footage because he wanted to make sure that he won in becoming the next mayor. So he hold the camera footage, and then after I come out, then we'll release the camera footage. And it clearly showed that officer just didn't like no niggas and wanted to kill him. And then his own officer whistle blew on him and said, no, he wasn't no danger. I didn't feel like my life was threatened. Because the other cop said, my life was threatened. That's why I killed him. Sticking to the script. Well, the one white officer, I'm going to see if I can find that footage, was like, no, my life wasn't in danger. Did you feel like your partner's life was in danger? No, my partner's life wasn't in danger. And that's exactly why they fired that motherfucker. And I think they sent him to prison for killing Laquan McDonald. And what they should have done was they should have got rid of the mayor, Rahm Emanuel, and they should have got rid of everybody that was linked to that. Because they knew what the fuck was going on.
Night as well, like that.
Indeed, John. And the man shot and killed by police has now been identified as Walter Wallace by the mayor of Philadelphia. This all started when police responded to a call reporting a man wielding a knife in West Philadelphia. What happens next is capture.
Wielding a knife. Look at how they break that down. Wielding a knife. You know, they're going to keep letting you know what the fuck is going on. Y'all need to watch that shit when they be on the news saying that shit. Just watch and listen. Listen to the wordplay because they know. Wielding a knife, which means, remember, the news media is controlled by like 3 or 4 wealthy, dominant society motherfuckers. So somebody's writing that script. So somebody had to put that together because she's reading the teleprompter because the other guy was reading the teleprompter. I hope y'all don't think motherfuckers just get on the news and just get to talking. There's somebody in the newsroom writing all that shit and putting it on a teleprompter and fucking going over it over and over again. So once they do go on the news, there's never no mistakes. That's why people never hardly make mistakes because for one, it's pre-recorded, and two, they don't go live Because when they go live, motherfuckers can fuck up. Last person news that went live, they said Happy Martin Luther King Day. And then they stopped that going live shit.
On cell phone video. I'll pause here so we can all listen to it.
Yo, watch my wood. Yo, that is crazy on me.
Oh. And he got a knife. And these niggas got guns. And they running away. R.I.P. to our brother Walter Wallace Jr., man. That's tough to hear. It's tough to listen to. It's even tough to watch. And our black folk, we got to be on code and we got to rustle a motherfucker to the ground sometime, man. Because sometimes we just be on one. We don't know what that brother, my brother probably just was like, I'm over it. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, we got to take control. We got to take each other's, I would say we got to take accountability for each other, meaning like sometimes you just got to grab a motherfucker, man, because you saw what they did to Daniel Prude's brother. He said, man, I need help. My brother's having an episode, and they motherfuckers hog-tied him and put a bag over him. It's snowing outside, and they just trying to take it their time, and then he ended up dying. Then when they call, oh, well, he coded. Yeah, he's not breathing. Yeah, he's not breathing. That bullshit. Sad, man.
We've paused the video, as you can see there, just before Wallace falls to the ground, but you do hear a number of shots fired. John, it isn't clear.
Now, this is my thing. You heard a number of shots fired. Why did so many why? Okay, if it's two of y'all, both of y'all needed to fire, and he had a knife, not a gun. He had a knife, not a gun, not a Uzi, not an AR, a knife. So he had so basically, y'all was like, all right, well then why didn't y'all use y'all taser if he had a gun? I mean a knife. If he had a knife, why don't you use your taser? Let's see. Why didn't they? Because it's hunting nigga season. That's what it is. That's why they didn't use their taser. Even if he was coming at him, use your taser. Isn't that what that cop said on the bar when he accidentally shot and killed Oscar Grant? He accidentally shot and killed. I was reaching for my taser, but video clearly showed that you knew what you was doing. He was calling fucking nigger and all that other shit. You know what you was doing, man. And did they change anything in the BART system out there in Oakland, California? No, they're never changing that. And them motherfuckers done went on their line. Them white people still getting on the bar and taking they don't give a fuck. Stop wanting for them to give a fuck at all. I was watching Lovecraft, and they had this scene where this one of the sisters, she was using the magic. First of all, they got the white people, wielding the magic, which I think is hilarious, even though they got it from black folk. And she was using the magic, and then Emmett Till had died. So they had this real intense scene with the black sister, and that's a non-foundational black American, by the way. She does this scene with this other white sister that was showing her the magic. And she was just like, you don't even care about what happened to Emmett Till, and I should be over there with my people and all this other stuff. Man, that white lady looked at her with no care in the world and say, but really, you don't want to be over there because you've been using the magic to do what you want to do. And you've been thinking about your self-interest. So you're not really worried about your people. See, that's what white folks really need to tell black people. Instead of being like, oh, I know, your people, go help. No, tell the truth. Why you telling me? Go over there with your people. See, I think more black people need to hear that. Because you go to them thinking you're going to get sympathy. All they going to do is laugh at you and get Bob from marketing on the phone. Be like, Bob, can you believe what this nigger told me, Jerome? That he was upset about his people being killed. Bro, man, my people died in the Civil War, but you don't see me running around talking about that. Isn't that right, Bob? And then Bob is on the other end. Golly gee, Tom, you're so fucking right. Fuck that nigger, man. That's what they really talking about. So don't go crying at them because they don't give a fuck.
How many of those bullets struck Wallace? We know he was then taken by police cruiser to a hospital where he died of his injuries. The mayor of the city and the police commissioner say they have reviewed video of what they call the tragic incident.
First of all, he died on the scene, just like the last person I did on my podcast, the last brother that I did. He died on the scene, but those people ran their ass the fuck up out of there. Go listen to my last podcast. Them motherfuckers try to come up there and try to He tried to come up there and make it seem. Where was it in? I forgot what county it was. And the young brother and the sister, Marcellus Stinnett, and he was backing up, and the motherfucking cop just started dumping in the car. Then he tried to say he's fear for their life. They like it fear. And they was like, well, why would you shoot that many times in the back of the car? Like, why would you do that? You didn't even know where you're shooting. You just start shooting. Then when the press conference, I guess the cop was trying to do a press conference for his staff, and then they just started bombarding with questions, and he just walked off. Because they know niggas is getting tired of this shit. In my honest opinion, I think they kind of like, well, we just going to keep doing it until we can't do it no more. That's a fact. Remember that. And they not going to change it.
The city and the police commissioners say they have reviewed video of what they call the tragic incident.
Then what are they going to do? And see, that's wordplay too, the tragic incident. And guess what? They going to tragic incident that shit all the way to not guilty, and they were in fear for their life, and we're not bringing up charges on these officers. And guess what? The fuck out of here. Y'all can march, whine, and repeat. And if y'all keep marching too goddamn much, we going to send the dogs out there, and we're going to turn the hoses on you niggas, and we're going to have our law enforcement respond to the bullshit y'all got going on. And we don't give a fuck, because ain't none of this shit going to change. And go out, go vote, clown. So that's my message to all those niggas out there in Philly that was dancing in the vote line doing the electric slide and all this other clown ass shit. So y'all tell me, since y'all want to dance and shit, you want to dance like you got ants in your pants. So go ahead, clown, since you want to do that. Now tell that family of Walter Wallace Jr. who got killed, tell them family members to go vote. And where the fuck is Kamala Harris and Joe Biden since they care so much about niggas? Since Donald Trump is the racist one, but Joe Biden is our savior. He's the next best thing to Cesare Borgia. Well, who was that, Warren? Jesus Christ.
It raises many questions, and both have committed to a complete investigation. That, as the president of the police union asks the public to wait for that investigation to be complete and to not vilify the police department. However, the video you're seeing is of the protests that were sparked overnight. There are reports that at least 30 police officers were injured, mostly by projectiles. At least one officer is still in the hospital. She was struck by a truck, breaking her leg and sustaining.
You know, they're trying to tell you all the bad things that happened to the officers. Oh, well, the officers, let's play that again so y'all can hear. The officers were struck and all this other stuff. And they want everybody to wait before they get upset until we do our investigation. Investigation means we're going to come up with what type of lie we're going to tell the general public, the deaf, dumb, and blind. And let's just give us time to be expecting a riot. So let's get all the police. We've already trained for this. Ain't nothing done without a rehearsal when you're dealing with the dominant white society, in my honest opinion. Nothing's done without a rehearsal. And you're like, what do you mean, Warren? Okay, for instance, like I was telling everybody, I'm telling people, the economy's getting ready to tank, whether y'all niggas like it or not. The Dow was down 900 points. They still laying off people. We're still going through the effects of COVID. They know what they're fucking doing. And then Sheldon Adelson, the architect, which I'll get into later, he just made it a big announcement. So I'm going to tell you, nothing is done without theater being involved. There's always a production behind the theater. So there's always somebody in the newsroom producing the whole situation. So please believe you me, when they say we're doing an investigation, they come up with a lie. That's a fact.
However, the video you're seeing is of the protests that were sparked overnight. There are reports that at least 30 police officers were injured, mostly by projectiles. At least one officer is still in the hospital. She was struck by a truck, breaking her leg and sustaining several other injuries. We know that the mayor of Philadelphia, Jim Kenney, has been in touch with the Wallace family. The police commissioner says she will join the mayor in meeting with members of the family as well as members of the community to hear their concern. She goes on to say that she can feel the anger of the community, certainly very much on display overnight, Allison.
Yeah, I bet you it was. Nice try. And I like how they just, man, hey, y'all got to understand, this shit goes deep. It is not what people think. It is not what you think is going to happen. It's what you know is going to happen. Well, I'm going to tell you what I know is going to happen. These niggas ain't going to get brought up on no charges. What the fuck y'all think is going to happen? That's what I'm saying is. That's why I'm saying this. I want to know, and this is my question. So, since Walter Wallace Jr., got lynched, assassinated. Daniel Prue's brother, all these black individuals. And Donald Trump is just so bad, even though he's an anti-black racist. But Joe Biden is so good, and so is Kamala Harris. What's their plan so we're protected the next 4 years? 1, 2, what's their plan on reparations so we can have an economic base so we don't have to adhere to the white dominant society? We can go live our life, do our own thing. 2, 3, if we vote for you within the first 5 years, what is your plan to get things moving for question 1 and 2? That's what motherfuckers need to be asking other niggas when they get to fucking trying to make you feel bad because you don't vote. That's why I was on my Instagram saying that shit. I don't give a fuck if people like what the fuck I had to say. I don't care if people get offended. If you get offended, that means you ain't read Black Labor, White Wealth, or you ain't read Powernomics. You ain't read the new Jim Crow. You have not read Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome by Dr. Joy DeGruy. You ain't read Dr. Francis Cresswell Sings the ICP. You ain't read none of those books. I know you haven't. And that's fine, because each one has to teach 21. So it's my job when I come across people, I don't argue with them. I say, hey, man, you need to go read Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson when they tell me to go vote. And they be like, why? I'm like, just go read that book, man. If you go read that book, it tells you why you're voting and what you should get out of voting. So many black folks just think we just supposed to just sit there and be enamored by the person we voting with and don't ask them for shit. That's like you wanting services rendered for something, but you don't ask for the services rendered, but you still give them the money. Why would you do that? You just giving money away. And that's how the vote is. The vote has no value because when it comes to black folk, because we just give it away. We just go vote for whoever can play the saxophone and do the fucking stanky leg. And if we not voting for them, then that motherfucker got another turn around and make you feel like you ain't shit. And I'll be like, damn, how you gonna make me feel like shit? And nigga, I'm just telling you why I'm only voting if my services are rendered. That's all I'm saying. Services not rendered, man, then I can't give you my vote. That's on you. And you know what it is? It's a generational lack of knowledge too, because black folk just been telling other black folks and passing down from generation to generation, you Democrat. I got told that shit too. And I was looking at, anybody in my family, I was like, well, why am I Democrat? Oh, because we always vote Democrat. Them Republicans is racist. Then as I get older, I'm like, well, it seems like both parties is racist to me. I ain't vote for neither one of them. Well, you got to vote, you can't have that man in there being racist. We need to vote our interests. You know why? Because the generations before us have lack of information. So they're misinformed. So they just going by what they've been told. And that's why it is the way it is. You know what I mean? You just got to understand that. There's another video I want to play, and I want to see what they say. I want to see what their wordplay is about, the people so-called rioting, because I like to hear their wordplay. Hold on.
And looted. Police vehicle Philadelphia preparing for more of the anger and rage that spilled onto the streets. At least 91 people arrested. Businesses vandalized and looted. Police vehicles. See how they businesses vandalized and looted. They can't wait to tell you that, but they ain't talking about what these race soldiers did to that brother. I don't care if he was coming out there. What if he was having a mental health episode? What if he was having a mental health episode? What if he's bipolar? You know how you white folks do it. Oh, I'm bipolar. So why did you kill that person? Oh my God, because the trauma when I was a kid and I'm bipolar. Not guilty. Or what about that young white boy? Well, why would you drive drunk and kill somebody? Because I suffer from affluenza. I'm too affluent to understand what poor people go through. So that's why I killed him. And tried to flee and go to another country. And that's why my mom tried to help me get out of there. This is what these motherfuckers do. And while they do that, we sit up here talking about, well, we just need to vote, because Biden gonna change things for us. Man, get the fuck out of here. Biden's probably like, God damn, they keep killing niggas. Y'all making it hard for me to get the black vote. That's all he thinking about. That nigga ain't like, man, fuck that. We got to do something about this shit. At all. But notice they keep talking about the motherfuckers rioting and shit and looting. Damaged following the death of Walter Wallace Jr. Seen on this video, police responding to calls about an armed man.
You see they brung up, the police responded about an armed black man. An armed man. They're putting that shit in there so
other white people, other coon ass niggas will be like, well, man, he did have a knife, man. What you expect law enforcement to do? That's why they doing that. And they know niggas is going to argue with other niggas about it because other niggas are deaf, dumb, and blind, or they're getting nigga trinkets or Hansel and Gretel crumbs to be the defenders of anti-black racism and be the agents and the agent provocateurs and just be the agents for the white dominant society. See, most black folk, when they start being contrarian to black folk that are call out law enforcement, those are people that will be like, oh, well, my family's law enforcement, all that. Let me tell you something. If somebody, my family's law, I'll be like, dude, y'all on some bullshit, man. Y'all on some bullshit. Real law enforcement officers, they know whether they white or black. If they know if it's some bullshit, they gonna be like, that's some bullshit. Cause they could have shot him with a taser. Man, go watch Cops. Oh, my bad, they took that off TV. But when Cops was on air, I can't tell you how many times I saw police officers shoot niggas with tasers because they was being filmed. So that's why they didn't, they was being filmed. That's why they was shooting motherfuckers with tasers. And then, oh, well, we got body cam footage. Body cam footage is there to pacify deaf, dumb, and black people. Not deaf, dumb, and white people. Not deaf, dumb, and black and blind people, but deaf, dumb, and black folk. Because we are the only motherfuckers that want to believe in people that never, ever in the last 450 years in this country believed in us. The only thing they believed is we going to get these niggas to build this country, entertain us, and keep us genetically alive. That's what we going to do. Because the more niggas that work for us, the less shit we got to do and the more generational wealth we can pass down to our children. That's what they believed in. They didn't believe in us being equal to anything. Ask Thomas Jefferson or Andrew Jackson or who? Benjamin Franklin or who? George Washington. Mr. I'm going to yank out niggas' teeth and make them my dentures because I don't fuck with these niggas no way. But when you start bringing that shit up, people be like, man, that was a long time ago, man. You know what I'm saying? But he did have a knife, though.
Her telling him to put down a knife.
And if they're telling him to put down a knife, why you just shoot him with a taser? Why didn't you tase him? Why didn't you fucking tase him? Why tase him? This is like, now how is it that law enforcement get all this thorough training, right? All this thorough training, but they didn't know what to do. They started running from the nigga. They supposed to be law enforcement. They started running from the nigga. That's how I knew. I'm like, see, because a lot of these police officers and law enforcement, you know what they are? They are the rejects from society. They are the dominant society rejects who didn't get degrees, who didn't excel in life, and they were nerds, goofballs. They probably couldn't get no bitches to fuck. So let me go get some type of power so I could oppress other people, especially black folk, because a lot of these, I would say 99% of the law enforcement is racist, and they practice anti-black racism on an everyday basis. And they get a kick out of that. And that's why they was running, because they was scared. They was like, fuck it, we gonna kill this nigga. And they shot him and killed him. Not once, not twice, not use a taser, but they shot him and killed him.
Before opening fire. Wallace's family says there was a domestic problem and that police were told the 27-year-old father of four had mental health issues.
This is the first time I heard this. Look, a lot of this shit I don't watch. I play it live when I do the podcast because I don't want my shit to be fucking rehearsed. I go off the dome. I ain't no fucking preacher where I'm just like reading the fucking Bible and all this other shit, man. Fuck all that. The only thing I'm going to do is read you some passages from some books. But as Dr. Claude Anderson teaches, they are killing you because simply they can. That's what they doing because they can. And if they had mental, y'all know what happened to Daniel Prude's brother or Daniel Prude. I know his brother came out and was talking a whole lot of shit, real shit, and saying basically they treated my brother like a fucking animal. And you ain't heard from that brother ever since. And then when they called the police and they told the police he's having a mental health issue, isn't everyone telling us we need therapy? Isn't white people saying you should get therapy? And all these black folks telling us to get therapy. Man, you need therapy. You need therapy. Well, if this brother has a mental health breakdown, then why did they tase him? Why did y'all shoot him? If he was having a mental health breakdown, you don't know his mental health status. But no, you shot him and killed him because you didn't give a fuck. You didn't care. And that's the first time he watching that. That's why I said, well, what if he had mental health issues? But no, we gonna kill him.
Family says there was a domestic problem and that police were told the 27-year-old father of four had mental health issues.
And if they were told that he had mental health issues, then why didn't they pull out their taser and say, well, we're going to have to tase him. If y'all can't keep him, we're going to have to tase him. And I saw some of the melanated brothers and sisters trying to grab him. I saw it. I saw them trying to grab him. If you watch the video, they were definitely trying to prevent that. But those police officers, they wanted to kill him. In my honest opinion, they were scared and they wanted to kill him. Not scared for their life. They were just scared because they didn't want to get hurt. Not, oh, I'm scared for my life. Because they started running. Go watch the footage. These niggas is running. I'm like, how you scared if you a police officer? Then you don't need to be no police officer. You knew the job was dangerous and you took it. So then why'd you take that motherfucking job? Then maybe you should be working at the popcorn stand next to the concession with the fat man.
When they first arrived,
They didn't have to shoot. We need new laws. We need them to be trained differently.
the officers who used deadly force against Wallace did
Look at them. Man, y'all need to see these motherfuckers just walking back, just scared out of their mind. This shit is blowing my mind, man. That's the only thing I can say. This shit is blowing my mind. And I don't know why people are telling everybody to go vote, because I'm going to tell you right now, that ain't going to, well, we need new laws. Yeah, you sure do need new laws. Why don't you ask Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? Since Donald Trump, watch what they do. They're going to spin it. The Dems are going to spin it and put a camera in Donald Trump's face and have him say some racist shit. Be like, see, that's why you need to vote for us, because we're going to change that. And then when niggas are still getting killed when Joe Biden is in office, if he is in office, I'm going to be laughing at all you clown-ass motherfuckers. And being like, that's what y'all get for taking y'all clown asses to the poll to go for a motherfucker who was the architect behind the 94 crime bill, who has not yet to apologize about it, because he don't give a fuck.
not have tasers, the commissioner citing budget constraints.
These officers had not been.
And then looks like the commissioner, the police commissioner, is a mammy, and she might get the music because she about to get out there and niggas playing. And let me tell you, that's what happened in Rochester. That's what happened in Rochester when I think it was Daniel Prue that got killed. And then the black chief of police, he was getting ready to retire. And then they was like, nah, you're not retiring. We firing you. I was like, God damn. Because that mayor was getting ready to throw somebody under the bus. Y'all need to understand the mayor, the chief of police, those people are all related. They're all in cahoots. Y'all need to go watch this thing called Flint Town about these police officers in Flint, Michigan. It's a very good docuseries on Netflix. It came out like 2018. Y'all need to go watch that shit, man. And it's cold. It breaks down all the little politics and all the bullshit that go along with it. It's cold. They had one white dude on there who was like, yeah, basically, I'm glad I killed my nigger before they started bringing attention to that. He said it. Because he was on the police department and he shot and killed a black person and got off and was basically kind of pissed off because he wasn't getting paid more money.
Deployed tasers, as is the case with many other officers here in the department.
Today, police...
Hold on. And they flashed her name. We're going to rewind what this sister said because Danielle Outlaw, that's her name, Danielle Outlaw, the Miami police commissioner. Go look at her. Shawnee, if you watch this, leave me a message. I know you out there. Let me know what she be on. Because to me, it looks like she just on there explaining. And is she foundational black? She got to be Danielle Outlaw, because I don't think that's no Latino. No, it's got to be a black sister. You know, I hate to say it, but they always put black folks up to do the nigga splaining.
As is the case with many other officers here in the department.
Today, police tight-lipped about the investigation. They have not released body cam video or revealed the officers' names, concerned for their safety.
Oh, now you concerned for their safety. Stop. Niggas ain't concerned for their safety. Please. You don't give a fuck. Stop. But y'all law enforcement, what y'all afraid of regular people for?
Watch the video of this tragic incident, and it presents difficult questions that must be answered.
Jim Kimmy, or whoever his name was, a dominant white society motherfucker, who they probably told you need to get on TV and you need to fucking say something. Trust me, this is all theater.
Wallace's killing igniting hours of violence.
Multiple officers down.
30 officers injured, mostly by flying rocks and debris. A female sergeant hit by a pickup truck, still hospitalized in...
Ogun, Ogun, Ogun. Ogun, Ogun, Ogun. Ogun. That's all I'm saying. Ogun.
Stable condition with a broken leg. Tonight, police confirm they've already stepped up their presence in anticipation of more possible unrest. And now, late word, the Pennsylvania National Guard is sending hundreds of its members in to help.
Now the National Guard is coming. Man, stop. Y'all motherfuckers get on my nerves with that shit. It's all theater. Look, let me tell you something. After that man got killed, they knew they was going to start rioting. They knew it was going to be a problem. They knew all that. And they sent those police out there and made them put their lives in danger. And then that one police officer got their leg broke. That's what they get. Here, let's see. Let's see. I want to see. I'm going to play one more video. And I want to see exactly what they going to say. Because I like the verbiage and what they use. And it's very slick.
Figure out just what happened last night. It took a long time, several hours before police could gain control of the area where there was...
Gain control of the area? Man, nigga, what?
Violence, looting, vandalism in the aftermath of the shooting incident.
You notice everything we listen to. Violence, looting, vandalism. Oh, he had a knife. Oh, he had a knife. They've only mentioned that he had mental health issues one time. And the family who called the police told the police officers he has mental health issues. We need help. But y'all ain't mentioning that this brother had mental health issues. If it had been a white person, they'd have been like, oh, he suffers from, bipolar disorder. That's why he killed all those people. And that's why we just subdued him and shot him with a taser, because he had mental health issues. But niggas could be like, hey, I'm mental. Oh, well, kill this nigga.
Involving a 27-year-old Philadelphia man and two police officers. The officers were dispatched to a neighborhood. It's unclear exactly what was happening before this happened, perhaps some kind of a domestic incident. The man who was killed, his family and neighbors say that he apparently has some mental issues and he may have been on some kind of medication.
Thank you. Just like Daniel Prude, I'm telling y'all. Now, how is it you a police? They go through all kinds of training. So y'all don't go through no. I even watched this documentary too about these two white police officers and how they wanted to do more with mental health, because they was like, we show up to cases and people are threatening to kill themselves and jump off bridges and we don't have the training, and like we need more extensive training in that. And there needs to be, when you call and somebody's having a mental health episode, that number needs to be rerouted to police officers that are able to deal with that. Now that I do agree with, but they don't give a fuck, because they think all niggas got mental health issues. They just bunches all together. One big nigga. Fuck it. Well, he just like the last nigga. He's a gangbanger or something. Just, give him, just put a gun on him. I know he got a gun. Oh, he had a knife? Bang. Not a gun, not an AR, but a knife. And you should have saw how cowardly these police officers look. They're just running. I said, God damn, man.
And they said that they were trying to calm him down when the police arrived, again responding to a call, the man brandishing a knife and acting erratically. There was some kind of a confrontation. You see on the video what appears to be the man coming towards the officers. They say that's what happened. They seem to be backing up. And then there are shots fired. The man's father says that he thinks he was shot multiple times, and he was later pronounced dead at the scene at a hospital.
No, he was dead. He was dead at the scene. But you want to say, they always say he died at the hospital. That's some bullshit too. That's theater too. Because in the last with Marcel Stinnett, them people was like, he didn't die at the hospital. He was dead before y'all got here. They was putting his ass on blast, just reporting fake bullshit.
At the scene there, residents are saying and asking, why was deadly force used? Why didn't the police do something else? Use a taser or try to restrain him in some other way? And then...
Exactly. Like I just said, why didn't y'all use y'all taser?
The protests broke out and vandalism and looting. At the end of the day, there were as many as 30 police officers who were injured, most by flying bricks and bottles and debris. There was one female officer who was hit by a pickup truck. Her leg was broken.
Ogun. I'm sorry that happened, but y'all niggas gotta understand. See, y'all stand behind that blue wall of silence, but then y'all be wanting niggas to tell, and then y'all be wanting us to calm down other niggas. Well, no, calm down your people on that side. Why don't you have, see, that's what I'm saying. If you are a part of law enforcement and you are knowingly seeing other law
law enforcement officers use anti-black racism rhetoric or even practice anti-black racism, and if you're not calling them out, you're just as bad as them. If you're turning a blind eye and acting like you don't see that shit, you're just as bad as them. And you are toxic to black folk if you are black and you're not calling it out. You know what I'm saying? You're like, well, I got to keep my job. Well, ain't nobody forcing you to be no police officer. And ain't nobody putting no gun to your head and telling you go be a police officer. That's something you're choosing to do. So if you're choosing to do it, then you need to be trying to fight it from the inside and check these motherfuckers. And why don't you say something? You want niggas on the street to snitch, but y'all niggas don't want to snitch.
She is the only one of the 30 who is still hospitalized in stable condition. The others were treated and released. And there were several dozen people who were arrested, charges ranging from possibly rioting to assaulting an officer, firearms possessions. It's just a lot going on last night, again, until about midnight, 1, 2 in the morning or so, as it all finally settled down. And we will see what the daylight brings today.
Yeah, I bet you will see what the daylight brings today. Get the fuck out of here, nigga. Y'all just doing what the fuck y'all want to do. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, man, niggas better wake up. You know, and the reason why, because while niggas thinking life is sweet, life is not sweet. And all you dumbass niggas jumping around for that Raiders stadium, guess what? Nigga, you can't go in there and watch shit. So now that you can't go in there and watch shit, now you got a stadium that you can't watch. That's one. You can't watch football games, can't participate, can't go in there because of the COVID-19. That's what y'all niggas get. Y'all allowed Sheldon Adelson and the rest of these white billionaires to tell you what they think is good for you and allow them to lie to the general public and tell everybody that, oh, this is beneficial, it's going to bring money to the city and all this other shit. Right. Okay. So it's going to bring money to the city. Okay. Then if it's going to bring so much money to the city, where's the money at? Just because you can't go in the stadium doesn't mean you can't still come out here. Of course you're not going to come out here. You know why you're not going to come out here? Because you know, like I know, that was a money grab. That wasn't for you to, that wasn't for everyone to enjoy. It was for the billionaires to enjoy. And after Sheldon Adelson, the white Jewish man who owns the Venetian, the Palazzo, all that other stuff, after he was the architect behind the Raiders coming here and using taxpayers' dollars to pay for, unlike the LA Rams, they didn't use taxpayers' dollars. That was all self-funded. So since they use taxpayers' dollars that we're going to be paying the next 10, 15, 20 years, he's selling his properties because basically he's telling you we're fucked. He's not losing his money and he's getting the fuck out of Dodge. And he's selling his properties out here in Vegas for $6 billion. So that should tell all you dumbass niggas, especially black folk, jumping around here with your dumbass Raiders fucking driver's license plates and hats and flags and cars, all this dumb shit. Now, what type of Raiders game you gonna be able to watch clown when you at the unemployment line and they're not gonna be paying niggas no $900 no fucking week? Ain't no state tax out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. You better take that bitch ass shit back to California. We don't have a state tax. So why everybody jumping for joy and all this other shit? These niggas don't give a fuck about you as the Dow dropped 900 points. So they're going to tank the economy one way or another. They're just trying to do it with as much theater as they possibly can so dumbass, deaf-ass, blind-ass niggas could be like, man, the economy just fucked up, man. I don't know what happened. Man, COVID, man. Man, COVID did it, man. If we didn't have COVID, the economy would be good. That's crazy because 10 years ago, the economy tanked. So now all of a sudden, 10 years later, it has the same thing? So this has nothing to do with the Federal Reserve interest rates and them liking to destroy and rebuild the system. Like the architect in the Matrix. We've destroyed this system 6 times. What are you talking about? You're not the one. You're the one out of 6. Clown. Thinking that you something special. You know, nigga, we created you. But nah, dumbass niggas is sitting around here jumping for joy. And while you dancing in line telling niggas to go vote, niggas is getting lynched. Right in front of other people's eyes. But you want to tell me to go vote? Voting is for, that's sucker shit. That's all I got to say. That's sucker shit. I'm even watching this thing right here where they're putting it. I'm going to see what it is first. This is the actual footage of the assassination, the lynching of Walter Wallace Jr. I just want to, I hate to play this, but I want to play this because I want y'all to understand, whoever's listening to this shit is real. You telling niggas to go vote, that's some sucker shit. Voting ain't going to give this brother his life back. So I'm going to play this, man. After that, we going to end that. For real. Just listen.
Yo, watch my world. Yo, that go crazy out here.
Now, can't you hear them saying, put the knife down? Not the police, but his peoples. They're trying to control it because the police is running from him. They're running from him. And they didn't even have their tasers out. They could have tased him and subdued him.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Bro, they just killed them in front of me. Yo.
Now, I'll tell you this. Go watch the videos on Yahoo. I'll tell you this. The sister or the brother, whoever it was, when she saw her peoples laying on the street, she threw some at that police officer and swung on his ass. Oh, goon. That's what you're supposed to do. That's how, if you're going to react emotional, that's how you react. Swing on that motherfucker. She swung on his ass and threw something at him and said, motherfucker, you just killed him. And they talking about, oh, he died at the hospital. That nigga died right there on the street of Philly. See, that's some bullshit, man. And motherfuckers want to tell you to go vote? Oh, my God. If you go vote, if you live in Philly and you go vote and don't have no stipulations on what the fuck you gonna get for your vote, like let's change the laws where law officers have to just carry tasers and they have to shoot with a taser. And if they don't shoot with a taser first and they kill someone, they do a mandatory 15 years in prison. And they can never work in law enforcement again. That should be what you're voting for. It shouldn't just be voting just to vote.
Yo! Y'all ain't had to give him that many shots! Y'all ain't had to give him that many shots! Yo!
Look, and they going off on the police officers.
Yo! This crazy, cuz.
Wow.
Yo!
And that's it. I ain't gonna play no more. That's it. This is the fuck what we going through. You want to tell a nigga to go vote? Kiss my ass. I did. Look, send them my way. Give my email. I'm about to start being like Professor Griffin, just giving out my motherfucking phone number. Nigga, call me. Nigga. Because that's some sucker shit. I wish a nigga would tell me to go vote after seeing some bullshit like that. They running away from the nigga. He got a knife. Not a machete. Not a chainsaw, but a fucking knife. And he's having a mental episode. They running away and they just shoot him. They could have kept running away. If you're going to just keep running away until you get your fucking taser out and tase him. No, you just running away and then you got to a position where you like, fuck it, I ain't running no more. And you just dump on him and kill him. And you shot him like 8 times. I wasn't in fear for y'all life. Y'all just scared of niggas, period. Because y'all socialized to be scared because y'all cowardly. Let me tell you something. Dominant white society people that are confident, they don't mind. They do not mind at all not just putting niggas on, giving them a fresh start. Here you go. I'm not tripping. But most dominant white society people, they're not confident. That's why they get on the job and start acting like the anti-black races that they are and get their rocks off by treating niggas all fucked up. And that shit'll never change. That's why reparations, we will never get sitting up here simping, marching, whining, and sandboning and cooning and telling them about the gun line boss to these motherfuckers. These motherfuckers don't give a fuck about that. You got to demand that shit. Fuck all that shit. Motherfucker get the grinning and skinning in your face about vote for me. Nigga, where's the reparations at, homie? And they like, oh, well, that's a state thing. Well, okay, well, then somebody need to make it happen. Ain't nobody getting my vote. Fuck out of here, man. We living in poverty while y'all niggas is living the good life. Go to Beverly Hills. You don't see none of those niggas losing any sleep. Go to Bel Air. Fuck all that, man. Wake up and understand what the fuck is going on. They're simply killing niggas because they can. Not because they can't, because they can. They know niggas ain't gonna do shit about it. Motherfucking George Zimmerman is still walking around here playing games with niggas. But niggas want to go bang on another nigga because he's from a different set. But why don't y'all take that energy and direct it towards these fucking dominant white societies anti-black racist instead of fucking going at your own people. If you don't get along with your own people, just don't fuck with them. But don't try to seek and destroy. But then when it comes to these white people, you get to bow on your head, tuck your tail between your legs, talk about them white folk, and bucking your eyes and poking your lip out and shit, man. Stop all that, man. So while y'all sitting up here telling niggas go do some sucker shit and vote, nigga, tell me why. You tell me about that family of Walter motherfucking Wallace Jr. Tell his family about voting. Now you tell me. I'm interested. Leave the comments. Anybody, tell me why we should go vote and how this is going to change this system of racism and white supremacy and really replace the system and establish a system of justice. When you can find that answer to me, get at me. Other than that, nigga, y'all niggas on y'all own. And any nigga that's Sambo and cooning and trying to justify what the police did, they are fucking Sambo, coon, telling about the gun line, Steven from Django, Hayward Shepherd, motherfucking Sambo ass nigga. And any other nigga that associate with motherfuckers like that and y'all not educating that person and checking the shit out of him, guilty nigga, I'm out. Peace. R.I.P. to Walter Wallace Jr.